It's another wild day in the world of Magic the Gathering. Jumpstart 2022 is going to feature anime cards. We have Brothers War spoilers, we have 5 new Planeswalkers in a secret lair, and that's not even all the news I have for you guys today.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The Magic Historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings! Owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends! I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered for Mega Magic News. Now, this Sunday edition is cram-packed. Normally, there's not that much going on the weekends, but clearly we are in the times of breakneck pace where every day something new is hitting the shelves, either in person or digitally for us to ooh and ah and wait for. So Wizards has this massive blast of stuff going on, and as a result, we've got a lot to talk about. So let's start out with the curiosity of Jumpstart. What a weird beast it is. When Jumpstart first came out, it took the world by storm. Partly, basically, it took advantage of something negative that happened, right? Like, the set itself was a bunch of cool little themes. It was a neat idea. You take 2 themes, slap them together. Now you don't have to go to a draft or deal with any really complicated way to dive in to limited Magic the Gathering. Great idea, right? Now, somewhat basic in some of the cards, but overall, when you combine the uniqueness of the cards with the fact that there was genuine supply issues, it created almost a rarefied air around the first Jumpstart because it was hard to get and the singles from it were pressed upwards. Now, that is not what you really want with a beginner product. So it did fail from that perspective, but it also did establish Jumpstart as a product of interest to a wider base. It's not just for beginners, it features a ton of interesting cards that people who aren't starting the game can also benefit from. Now we have a scenario where Wizards has reskinned theme boosters that go along with regular sets as Jumpstart. So you'll see the Jumpstart Dominator United are essentially reskinned theme boosters that do not feel like the first Jumpstart set we got. And Brothers War is going to follow that same theme and also be reskinned theme boosters. But Jumpstart 2022 is not like that. It's actually going to be like the original Jumpstart. So we're going to be getting a whole range of different themes and a bunch of unique cards, which is very exciting. But the most curious part is the fact that Wizards has decided to lean into this anime styling. Because up until now, my belief was they didn't want that in regular Magic because we've only seen this at all anywhere in terms of War of the Spark, where they did the Japanese alternate walkers and they had the more anime style, right? So basically, I guess Wizards looked at it and went, oh, wow, wait a minute. People are chasing these War of the Spark like anime style cards. How do we capitalize on this? And how do we make this Jumpstart feel different than the previous Jumpstarts? So you've got the anime concept, which is actually illustrated here in this image I'm putting up on the screen. You can see like the bottom half here shows like a demonic granny with a cup of tea, and she's all freaking out because you took her last crumpet or something, right? So this is the idea behind the anime cards. And I'm 100% cool with this because I actually really enjoy anime. There's a lot of awesome stories out there that you can find buried in what other people consider cartoons, but I consider anime to just be drawn adult entertainment, right? So that did not sound right. It's not what you guys think. That is not what I meant. Okay, you know what? Let's move on. Let's take a look at the chibi walkers next, my friend. Okay, so this is a set of 5 planeswalkers done in an adorable styling. When you take a look at it, you get Elspeth's Sun Champion. She looks so happy. She looks so happy thrusting her spear up. Yay for the sun. And then you got Narset, Parter of Veils, and man, those big gigantic eyes that are just maybe it's the angle of the foil or whatever and the way the foiling is going off them, but it makes her eyes look like empty voids, right? And the way that Narset works and the mind magic and everything, it's got that excellent kind of vibe to it. Then you've got a real surprise in the form of Garruk Wildspeaker. I was not expecting him to be mixed in here. I love Garruk. Admittedly, I don't really care that much about the chibi version of him. I mean, I get it. You're trying to make adorable versions of the Planeswalkers. It's fine. Garruk is a big hulking beast man, and this is like, look at me, I'm a little cute version. But it just doesn't land the same way. Then you've got Saheeli, Sublime Artificer. She looks so adorably cute. She's gonna show up and mess you up. I like artifacts, it's fun. And then you've got Sarkin Vol, and he's just there looking all like he's a little cute broody boy. I'm moody on my little red dragon, and I like to fly around and be moody, ladies. So in terms of this secret lair, like the value, if you want to break it down financially, there's about like $14 worth of cards in here, and they're selling this thing for like roughly 30 bones, right? Non-foil is like $29.99, and you're getting like $14 worth of stuff out of it. If you grab the foil version, it's like $39.99, so like 40 bones, and it's got closer to your actual like value in it. That's if you care about the values. Obviously, the value of pre-existing ones don't really apply over to these the same way, because their market value will be somewhat dependent on like how many copies of the secret lair are ordered and other factors as well. But I just thought I'd toss it out there that you can get all these Planeswalkers yourself way cheaper if you don't care about the chibi adorableness. And for me, I maybe I'm like hugely biased here. I think the ladies are adorable, and the dude ones, I'm just kind of like, you guys are all right. It doesn't hit the same way. I think the little chibi ladies look really cute, and the little dudes look, all right. Anyways, let's go from looking at cute to horrific. Let's talk about Phyrexian Revoker. This is a spoiler for the upcoming Brothers War set as part of the archive, right? Not obviously as part of the main set. Now, this one's really interesting to me for an additional reason, because having this redone has illustrated just how much I did not understand the original artwork of this card. When I looked at this card originally, I thought that it had big, goofy, googly, pokey eyes coming out of the back of it, right? You see those little spikes that are sticking up at the back? I thought those were big goofbag eyes. But no, it's got tiny little eyes that are situated right above that vicious mouth, right? And you can see that in this redone art. But even more so, you can see that this Phyrexian Revoker is actually a gigantic, bulbous, spider-like being. And that is absolutely wild to me. I was not expecting that. And what's really neat about these is Wizards has told the new artists to emulate the original artwork. So you might even think, looking at this, that it was just done by the same dude. That's the level of skill. But I love having these additional details. As somebody who lives in the flavor world of Magic the Gathering. I mean, I literally have an entire YouTube channel dedicated to Magic lore. It's called Fantasy Geographic if you haven't checked it out. Anyways, I love this. And this isn't even the only Brothers War spoiler that we have to talk about. Phyrexian Revoker is cool, but we need to go back. We need to go deep into the ancient times of Magic. Back into the mine, the Howling Mine. We get a sketch version of the Howling Mine, which looks absolutely awesome. And on top of that, these variations offer new flavor text, which gives you a new window into the world. And this flavor text is a lot of fun because it basically is from the perspective of an Argivian who refuses to accept what the dwarves have said about the mountains. The dwarves won't go back into that mine. They know the dangers, right? But this Argivian is basically waving it away, leading his expedition in. It's like, it's going to be fine. They've left these riches. We're going to go and get them. And it's basically the final notes from this guy's expedition. So you get the extra flavor, which is awesome. You get that awesome artwork enhancement. Like, this is a home run concept. For an old school nostalgia boy like me, this is an absolute mega win, right? Like, it's absolutely awesome. Now, I do want to take a moment to talk about something I intended to talk about before, but may not have covered. Mini collector boosters can actually contain lost legends. This was meant to be put in a previous news video, and I believe it just got left by the wayside. But a crazy thing happened at the game store I go to where somebody bought a Planeswalker deck, right? Not a Planeswalker deck. They don't even make those anymore. They bought a Commander deck, right? They go home, they crack it open, they're throwing all the packaging away, and their girlfriend goes, hey, I think there's something extra in there that you just threw in the trash. And so he finds the little booster, right? If you don't know, the Commander decks now come with collector boosters that have 2 cards from a collector booster. It's Wizards' little like, hey, the first taste is free. Let's get you hooked, right? So guy pulls it back out of the trash, opens it up. There's a Chains of Mephistopheles in there. That is an incredibly rare card from Legends. Actually, somebody coming into the live stream last night and telling me they had just acquired one was what made me remember it. Imagine being somebody who didn't know about these old school cards. You throw this in the trash, you pull it out, and you get one of the rarest Legends in existence. How amazing is that? That's so cool. So be aware that those mini collector boosters both exist and can have those Dominaria United Lost Legends in them. Pretty neat. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the fact that some lucky schmoes out there have gotten their hands on the Warhammer 40k decks already. Guess what? Walmart went ahead and said, for the Emperor, and released the 40k decks early. Not all the Walmarts, I don't know which ones, but some Walmarts have released the 40k decks. So if you're interested in grabbing yourself a 40k deck, you might want to head down to the Walmart. Oh, and you know what? You know what else on top of Warhammer 40k decks might be sitting on the shelves because they were when this person went there? Unfinity. So Warhammer 40k, Unfinity, both not supposed to be out yet. But there are people who have pictures proving they do indeed have them. This is a thing. The stuff is already out there. So, I mean, for all I know, you might have already shut this video off and run off to get in your car, going down to the Walmart or the Target or whatever. We had Targets in Canada for like a month and then they closed them. It was like an overpriced Walmart. Why would you even bother? Anyways, that wraps up all of the mega magic news. If you're not up to date on the Brothers War story and the Dominaria United story, you better go and do it right now. Fantasy Geographic, go check it out because in like 3 weeks, the Brothers War new storyline starts. You need that background information, okay? Big shout out to all my patrons. Thanks for supporting my channel, and I will see all of you, my friends, in the next video.